That right there, he had that guy outmatched from round one. Though he was winning the battle, he was winning some early rounds, he was definitely losing the damn fight. The setups was just incredible. They were just incredible. Let me see who won. Bam won by knockout. Dropped him twice. Bam. I said, and what I'll say, he'll get up from the first one. Vargas' chin is too good. He'll get up from the first one. But after that, let me see. Bam is patient and skillful. Yep. That's why I said the poise. When I was like, yo, I'm impressed by what Vargas is fighting this fight, but I'm mostly impressed by the poise of Bam. Because Bam didn't let everybody that's panicking, like in a war room, everybody who was panicking, there's people panicking out there. He didn't let himself panic, right? He was just still working this fight and then won by knockout.
Well, it did take a couple rounds. I mean, I know you're kind of calm in those moments, right? But were you starting to think, I don't know, maybe the weight's a little too, or were you just kind of like, oh, we just got to settle in?
But look, no, I just knew it was going to take a few more rounds. I did expect the fight to go rounds. I was a little surprised with Vargas. They had a good game plan. They fought good. They were fighting smart with those that speed and those long punches. But it's part of the sport. The corner, the fighter himself. We got to figure things out. Rounds. Look, the co-main event, the last fight was so close that a lot of people thought we lost. And today we won by a shot. I think one judge gave every round to Arturo. So it's the team, the workout, the game plan, the instructions in the corner that make a big difference. And I think with Bam, same thing. We seen that the first couple rounds were a little off. We had to make a little bit of changes, a little bit of instructions, and he follows instructions.
Bam, I've got to be honest with you. I thought Vargas was sensational through 4 rounds. I mean, I had it very, very close. I think I had Vargas just edging the fight, and then Bam just went into second gear. And he's just so special, he's 26 years old. I think that's what people don't talk about enough. On that pound for pound list, all of those guys are at the back end of their career. I know Inoue's got some years to go, but obviously Crawford's just departed, Alexander Usyk. No one other than Shakur, I think he's 29 now, on the boots, I think he's a future potential pound for pound number one. He's 28 years of age. It's like 26 years old.
I think so. I feel like I'm capable of beating anybody that the team puts in front of me. Money's very important, but legacy is also important as well. I feel like I can't retire without fighting Inoue, so I need to get that fight before I do retire and, of course, beat him and make the money and enjoy it with my family.
Following the explosive fight between Bam Rodriguez and Antonio Vargas, here are some reactions from the bout. Before this fight, Jesse Rodriguez had made it clear that routine title defenses no longer interested him, saying that only championship fights in unfamiliar weight classes truly excited him. He said stepping up to face Antonio Vargas for another world title was an offer he accepted immediately. Rodriguez acknowledged Vargas's background as an Olympian and title holder, but vowed to seize the moment. He projected quiet confidence, saying tougher opponents only brought out better versions of himself. He made clear Vargas would face a sharper, stronger, and faster fighter on fight night.
Yeah, constantly always trying to challenge myself. If it's not a world title fight, then it really doesn't interest me, or even if it's just a simple defense, it really doesn't interest me or get me going inside the gym. So when I got the opportunity to fight Antonio Vargas for another world title in another weight division, I was on go right away. Antonio Vargas, he's an Olympian, he's a world champion. So the fact that I'm able to move up to a new weight class and that be my first fight, it means everything to me, and then I'm ready to go out there and capture the moment.
During pre-fight media availability, Bam reiterated that a future clash with Naoya Inoue was bound to happen, as long as he kept handling his own business in the ring. He mentioned talk of Inoue moving up to a higher weight division had quieted down recently, but he wasn't paying much attention to it. Rodriguez stressed his sole focus was on stacking wins, trusting the mega fight would come on its own without him forcing it. He dismissed any suggestion he was looking past his current opponent, acknowledging all his future plans would mean nothing if he didn't perform on fight night.
That could be one of the reasons. I don't get too involved in that. I just do my work, make sure I get the wins, and if the fight happens, then it happens. Like I said, it's inevitable at this point, so I just got to keep doing my work, keep winning. I'm still young. I feel like I still have my man strength to grow into, so I mean, it's just a matter of time. You know, I gotta, like I said, you gotta keep doing my job, and that's winning. But I got that world title, and I feel like there was more to accomplish, and I have that same mentality to this day. So that's why I'm always challenging myself. This goes to show I'm moving up another weight class to capture another world title. So just constantly challenging myself. I feel like, you know, this guy's...
As Bam's trainer and someone closely tied to this camp, Robert Garcia said his fighter looked phenomenal in preparation, adding that Rodriguez felt much better at the higher weight limit. He noted that without needing to cut extra weight for the lower division, Rodriguez looked faster and stronger. Garcia admitted, though, that good camps don't always translate to results in the ring, acknowledging Vargas was a legitimate threat as a true bantamweight contender. He said only once the fight started would they know where Rodriguez truly stood at 118 pounds.
Well, look, Bam has looked sensational in the gym. He's been looking very good. He just said right now that he feels so good at 118. Now that he doesn't have to go all the way down to 115, he feels faster, he feels stronger. But he still hasn't had a fight. You know, once the bell rings and we have a solid 118 pounder in front of us, then we'll know exactly where he's at. I feel he's going to perform well. He felt good in training camp. We had a great training camp. Charles Tremblay did a great job building his body into a 118 pounder. So I'm very confident that things are going to go well. But at the same time, you know, when the bell rings, he's going to have Vargas in front of him, and Vargas is a solid 118 pounder. So we'll know more after the fight. But as you know, I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to look sensational and continue to move on to bigger fights at that division, unifications at the division, because, you know, those are challenges.
Meanwhile, Antonio Vargas said he'd tuned out all the talk about Bam's pound-for-pound status. He insisted his full focus was on Rodriguez, saying a win would open many doors afterward. Vargas warned Rodriguez might be underestimating him, but said he himself was completely locked in, dedicating every waking moment to nothing but getting the win. He said whatever came after Saturday would sort itself out once Rodriguez was beaten.
I haven't really been paying too much attention to that. I'm just focused on Bam right now. I know after I beat him, it opened up so many more doors for me. So I'm tunnel vision right now, and I'm just focused. You know, I eat, sleep, you know, focus on this fight just to get this win and get that out the way, and then whatever comes after.
Vargas also acknowledged hardly anyone expected him to win, with the prevailing narrative framing him as just a stepping stone for Jesse Rodriguez's path to Inoue. He said being constantly dismissed had only fueled his motivation, recalling he'd often been written off throughout his career. Vargas said walking out with his hand raised on June 13th would instantly silence the doubters, and that beating Rodriguez would immediately put him in the conversation for even bigger fights against names like Inoue.
How does this level of disrespect just fuel the motivation for you to score the upset of the year?
Yeah, no, it definitely motivates me, man. You know, I've been underdog, you know, many times, you know, I've been amateurs, even pros. But it definitely motivates me, man, because I know as long as I got to do what I got to do, you know, June 13th, it'll put all them talks, you know, to the end, and it'll probably, you know, having a victory over this kid Bam, it'll put me in a position to fight, you know, guys like Inoue, and open up bigger doors for me to fight. So it's definitely motivated me, man, to you know, to train hard, to stay focused,